I knew something was wrong the moment the fish surfaced belly up. Just yesterday, the lake behind my property, my escape, my pride, my only real peace in this HOA-ruled neighborhood, was crystal clear. I'd spent the morning casting lines into the water, the quiet broken only by the hum of the breeze and the soft plop of my lure. But tonight, as the sun dipped behind the pines, the shoreline shimmered with silver bodies. Dead. All of them. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't nature. It was her. Karen. Everyone in Willowridge Lakes knew her, the HOA president who treated the community like her private kingdom. She was the type of woman who measured grass with a ruler, reported kids for chalk drawings, and sent violation notices for unapproved doorbell tones. But what she hated most, what she despised with a level of passion that bordered on obsession, was my fishing. "You're disturbing the neighborhood wildlife," she had barked at me last week, marching across the lawn in her floral blouse, hair teased into a helmet. "You can't just hunt the fish." "It's called fishing," I said calmly. "People have been doing it for centuries." "Well, not on my lake," she snapped. "It's disruptive." Except it wasn't her lake. It wasn't even privately owned. It was community property. And if anyone disturbed the ecosystem, it was the HOA itself with its endless landscaping chemicals. But Karen didn't care about facts. Rules were her religion. Control was her oxygen. The fight should have ended there. But that night, as I stared at the poisoned water, the truth hit me like ice: she had gone too far. The lake wasn't just a pretty feature for the neighborhood. It was connected to the community's groundwater feed. Most of the houses, including mine, pulled drinking water from that natural reservoir. Poisoning the lake didn't just ruin my fishing. It threatened every family here. I dialed the HOA emergency line. Straight to voicemail. Of course. The next morning, I walked into the HOA office with photos printed, samples collected in jars, and the dead fish smell still clinging to my clothes. Karen stood behind the reception counter like she owned the place, hands clasped, face stretched into a fake polite smile. "Oh, it's you," she said. "I trust you've come to apologize for yesterday's outburst in front of your neighbor." "I didn't have an outburst," I said, placing the bag of dead fish on her desk. "But you have something to explain." She recoiled dramatically. What is this?" "The lake," I said. "Something's poisoning it, and I'm guessing you know something about that." Her face stiffened for only a second, but it was enough. "I have no idea what you're talking about," she said carefully. I placed the water sample next. "This is full of phosphates and herbicide residues. Not the kind used by the landscaping crew. The kind you can only buy with special authorization." Her eyes flicked away. Panic. Guilt. "You're accusing me of tampering with a natural water source," she snapped. "Do you have any idea how serious?" "Oh, I do," I said. "But I'm not accusing. Not yet. I'm asking." She crossed her arms defensively. "The HOA has strict pond management procedures. Maybe you're just overreacting. We had an algae treatment scheduled." "This isn't algae treatment," I cut in. "This is enough chemical to kill an entire lake." Her face twisted. "Maybe that's for the best. Maybe then you'd stop sitting out there like some fisherman troll scaring the ducks." "People are uncomfortable. This neighborhood has standards." There it was. The truth. Petty, bitter, and pathetic. "You really did it," I whispered. She jabbed a finger toward me. "Watch your tone. You're one complaint away from a fine." I stared at her, stunned by the audacity. She poisoned a community water source, and she thought I was the problem. Fine. If she wanted a war, she'd get one. But I wasn't going to shout or threaten. People like Karen feed off confrontation. They twist it, manipulate it, play victim. No, I would do this the smart way. The legal way. And in full daylight, I took my evidence to the county environmental department. They didn't just take it seriously, they acted immediately. Water contamination, especially near residential drinking wells, triggers emergency protocols. They sent inspectors to the neighborhood within hours. By evening, the lake was taped off. Hazmat suits, testing rigs, sampling pumps. Neighbors gathered in clusters, whispering anxiously. Karen strutted toward the inspectors, trying to look authoritative and important. "There must be some mistake," she said, aggressively flipping through her HOA binder like it was a badge. "This is a controlled water feature. The HOA has full jurisdiction." One inspector held up a clipboard without looking at her. "Ma'am, by law, any natural or semi-natural water body connected to a groundwater system falls under county oversight. Not HOA." Her smile faltered. Another inspector approached her with a firm expression. "We need to speak with you regarding chemical procurement records." It's been reported that unauthorized herbicides may have been applied. She swallowed hard. I don't understand. There must be a misunderstanding. The inspector pointed at the storage shed near the lake. We've already collected samples. The chemicals inside match the contamination exactly. Her face drained of color. The crowd murmured. That's our drinking water. My kids swim there every summer. Who would be careless enough to poison a lake? I stepped forward, silent. Calm. Karen's eyes locked onto mine. You, she whispered, venom trembling in her voice. You did this. You're framing me. Why would I poison the lake I fish in? I asked quietly. Why would I risk my own water? My own home. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. Because there was no excuse. No defense. No twisted narrative she could spin. The inspectors escorted her to one side, asking for statements and paperwork. She fumbled, stammered, contradicted herself at every turn. The HOA board members stood nearby, arms crossed, horrified. They weren't loyal to her, they were terrified of liability. Poisoning a water supply could lead to lawsuits, fines, even criminal charges. By the next morning, an emergency HOA meeting was called. The room packed, wall to wall. Karen sat at the front table, eyes sunken, hair frazzled, clutching her binder like a life raft. The board chair cleared his throat. Based on the evidence collected by county officials, Karen's unauthorized application of restricted chemicals caused a contamination event affecting the community lake and water table. Effective immediately, her position as HOA president is revoked. A wave of whispers swept the room. She slammed her hands on the table. You can't do this. I built this HOA. I upheld the standards. I protected this neighborhood from, she shot a hateful glare at me, from people like him who disrupt the peace. The chair continued coolly. Criminal charges are being reviewed by the county. In the meantime, Karen, you are prohibited from accessing community facilities and from participating in any HOA activities until further notice. She stood trembling, pointing at the board, the crowd, at me. You're all ungrateful. I kept this place perfect. Perfect. No one answered her. She stormed out, the echo of her heels fading into the hallway. And for the first time in years, the room felt peaceful. The cleanup took weeks. Aerators were installed. Water treatments applied. The fish population drained and reintroduced. The county monitored everything until levels stabilized. One early morning, as I sat again by the water, now clear, alive, sparkling with minnows, a soft voice spoke behind me. Mind if we join? It was Mrs. Hayes and her grandkids, fishing poles in hand. I grinned. Not at all. More neighbors joined us over the next week. Fathers with their sons, elderly folks with folding chairs, teenagers curious about learning. The lake became what it was always meant to be, shared, peaceful, enjoyed. As for Karen, her house went up for sale quietly. No goodbye, no remorse, just a sign and empty windows. In the end, she had tried to poison the lake to stop me from fishing. Instead, she poisoned her own reputation, her position, and her grip on the community. And the lake she tried to destroy, it became the very thing that united us.